Hello, it's Shereen, and this video is day 6, and I'm calling this I Said What I Said. So, as you can imagine, this week has been the most craziest, intense week of my whole entire existence. Like, my whole entire existence, it's just been mad. Now, for all of the supportive messages and, DMs, the tweets, the sharing of stories, the sharing of perspectives, the sharing of what's going on in businesses, because like people are telling me what's going on. Um, I am also getting people, obviously, whose noses are out of joint with some of the things that I'm saying. And this is from both black and white people, non-black people. So, this is for everybody. So I just wanted to use this video today for my day 6 as an opportunity to clarify some of the points that I'm making and why. Some of this is not going to be new news because I've mentioned it in other videos, but I think it's going to be good to have it in one place. It's not going to be too long, because I'll be here all year if I refuted every single thing somebody came back to me. But these are some key points, I guess, that I just want to make sure everyone's clear on where I'm coming from, even if you don't understand, even if you don't agree. So there's just no room for any misunderstanding. So, number one, yes, I know all lives matter. I know. I've been in HR for 17 years. Of course, I bloody know. But I'm doing this, I am focusing only on the experience of Black British people or Black people. Like, forget the British, I'm talking about the British experience. When I say that, that's another point actually. When I say the British experience, I mean Black people who are living and working in the UK. I don't care whether they were born here or from another country. So that's a good point. Let me clarify that point. The Black British experience in the UK within organisations today, whether you're non-profit or for-profit, charity, third sector, like wherever, if you hire in some way, shape or form, employees, volunteers, this is what I'm referring to. And I'm focusing on this because right now, nobody else is focused on the experience of Black people in organisations. Like there's other people campaigning, doing activism work from a societal point of view. Like that's not a world that I know. I don't feel like I can contribute, if I'm really honest, but I can contribute to talking about this in relevance to the business world because of my HR background. Because I know I'm not an expert in D&I, but I know D&I. Because I know leadership, because I know what happens in the boardroom and outside of the boardroom, because I know how employees are feeling, because they are now telling me. So that's why I am focused only on Black people in the UK. So no more all lives matter. Like, no, don't come to me with that. So that's point one. Point two is, and this is for white people and non-Black people, you do not have to have an answer to stand up and show support. But I know, like, people have called me who are very influential in their own sphere of what they do, saying to me, Shereen, tell me what you need me to do. Like, if I've got to tell you what I need you to do, keep watching more of my videos. Because if me talking about this is not making you think about how you can stand up and make a difference, I haven't got anything to say. There's nothing else I can tell you. But showing support looks like poking and prodding your directors, your people of influence within the business world. Whether it's networking groups, whether it's um, professional organizations. That's how you show support. Publicly speaking up, not just like exchanging WhatsApp messages and emails with your network or your friends. Like, publicly show support, because I am pushing and fighting against what I've called the corporate wall of silence, because I am not seeing enough activity. I am not seeing enough conversations having. I mean, it's starting to now, so that's good. I'm not saying it's not happening across the board. It's starting to now, but I'm not seeing enough. And I know I'm not seeing enough because people are messaging me and saying, My company's approach to this hasn't been very good. My company still hasn't said anything about this. And. So that's what I'm basing my challenge, I guess. So that's point two. So please know, just saying like you get it, you don't have to have an answer. That's important. Number three is I do not have the answers. Like I don't. Like everyone thinks I know the answers. Like Shereen, what should we do? Listen, all I can tell you is immediately right now, we need public acknowledgement. We need private acknowledgement. We need support. There are employees who need support, and I'm talking about volunteers. I'm talking about minimum wage black employees, because let's be clear, we are disproportionately occupying some low level roles within Britain. That's why we're being impacted by COVID-19 so much. You know, forget all the other of us that get to work remotely comfortably in our houses. We are still impacted, but it's slightly different. But fundamentally, this silence that's been going on has meant that we are still expected to come to work every single day and pretend that everything is okay when it is not. And the rest of the world, we all know, everybody else knows that it's clearly not okay, because you can only see what's happening in the US. It's slowly starting to trickle in the media, but even the media are not that interested unless it's a black celebrity who they feel is attacking white people for speaking out and saying the same thing that I'm saying. So all I want is to open the dialogue and be honest and be transparent and not allow this conversation to go off on tangents, which I'll come to in a minute. So I don't have the answers, I don't. But all I do know is my job this self appointed job that I gave myself, is to jam open the door to talk about race in this country and how it is affecting the experience of black people in the world of work. That's my job. Like I didn't plan this. I haven't got a strategy. I don't have any PDFs to send you. I don't have a nice slick PowerPoint to tell you this is how you do stuff. There's probably other people that claim they can do it, and that's fine. I'm just being the voice of realness in this. So that's I don't know what number point that is, but I don't have all the answers. The other thing is, the reason why I object to this being treated like a D&I initiative problem to be solved is because we have had D&I, diversity and inclusion initiatives, over what, most of my career, really. Like the last 10 years, it's probably, everyone's got very excited about it. And clearly it hasn't worked. And I tell you why it hasn't worked, because the whole purpose of inclusion, right? The whole purpose of inclusion is making everyone feel welcome, but particularly underrepresented groups. And it's to show, let's go back to what the true premise of inclusion is. It's to show that organisations in their culture have got inclusive environments, which means no matter where you come from, whether you've got a degree, no degree, your background, your ethnicity, all of that stuff, ability, disability, gender, sexual orientation, how you identify yourself, it doesn't matter, because when you step through the doors of organisations, you are welcome here. You have the same opportunities, that we've got equitable systems to make sure that we mitigate any bias that we know exists. We've got unconscious bias training, we've got mentorship programs, we've got sponsorship programs, we've got transparency and equity in promotional decisions, in how we manage performance. That is what inclusion is, right? So if everybody is important, this is the example that I used. If a marketing department is not performing and are struggling in a business, what do? You divert all your resources to the marketing department. The other departments don't say, but we matter too. No, everybody rallies together, and the CEO or the board of directors turns around and says, listen, this department needs some support, so this is what we're doing. Everybody carry on as you are, but right now we're gonna go and support this department. Black people need support, and nobody's diverting any resources to this. So clearly, inclusion does not work. These traditional approaches that we have don't work. That's why I get pissy, you know? So all I'm saying is, as I said, I don't have the answer because it's not my area of expertise. But I'm telling you, it doesn't work. Otherwise, I wouldn't be doing this if it worked. We wouldn't be. I wouldn't be here begging for corporate organisations or any organisations to recognise and acknowledge that Black people in their business need support. They need to just like voice stuff. I wouldn't be doing this if it was clearly working. What I do know is the playbook around this needs to be rewritten. The parts of it that might stay in there still relevant. I'm not saying it all needs to be thrown out, but it needs to be rewritten. And it needs to be rewritten because we have to acknowledge, and this is far deeper than we would like. The stuff that we're doing now has barely touched the sides. The stuff I'm talking about has barely touched the sides. Like, let other people, when you start hearing some other stories, let me tell you, you'll start hearing other stuff. So that's why I don't want to hear that this is a D&I thing. I don't want to hear that, CEOs and companies are turning to their D&I specialists and going, like, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? No, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Because this is a leadership problem. I don't want this marginalized. I don't want this marginalized into a D&I thing. I want this to be a leadership priority. Look, there's my 2-year-old chipping in. And then my last point, because I could be here all day. My last point is we've got to keep talking about this. For all the Black people that's saying to me, like, why are you telling them this, Trine? Like, why are you like telling them everything? Like, because we have to. I have to do this to show this is the level of real talk that is needed. Because if I don't do this, the second I let up from this honesty, I allow us to have the conversation go back to the economic argument about why diversity and inclusion matters, the economic argument about why it pays to have more representation in your business, the academic conversations about actually some of the stuff I'm talking about does apply. It does have applications to other employees, of course it does. And like later, somebody can go and like unpick it, and of course it does. Because fundamentally, what I'm talking about is fear, right? It's fear of people not being able to push and not being able to challenge and not to be able to be heard. It's fear from HR teams who know some of this stuff, who might recognize some of this stuff. They might not know where it comes from, but they recognize this. Is in the same way when they see poor behaviors in businesses and they feel powerless to be able to do anything because they do not have power. So this is about fear and power that I'm talking about. And that's why some people are feeling a little bit uncomfortable. And I get it, but I don't care, you know? Like, I'm deadly serious with this. I'm not playing. I'm not playing. So, like I said, what I said. And all I will say to anybody else is if you like, you can challenge me to the cows come home. Like, and that's fine. And depending on my mood, I may not respond. Like sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. But if you're going to come and ask me any questions about this, if you're not going to watch all of my videos, because now they're getting a bit long, and I know like time, but watch the video with me and Rosie, Freedom to Breathe. Go and watch that video, and then come and talk to me. Don't ring me and try and shortcut. Don't do that because I've had people do that. Don't do that. So, like I said, what I said.